all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Okay.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
What is up, everyone? What is up? It is your boy Drapes here on Sactown Sports 1140. You're listening to the Drive Guys. Coming to you live from New Orleans, Louisiana, chilling in the Smoothie King Center right now, getting ready for Kings Pelicans Part 2. Riding solo today, Whitey was on vacation with his family. I think he's like over the Pacific right now. He's on a plane somewhere. Him and his family going to Japan. Must be nice. So for the next hour and a half, I'm going to hold you down. We've got an hour and a half straight of your boy Drapes. We got a big show coming up at the bottom of the hour at 2:30. Our guy Emil Fergoso will stop by. We'll be talking about that big-time matchup tomorrow between the 49ers and the Seahawks. Plus, I'll ask Emil. Hopefully, he's listening right now because I need him to prepare for this. I need his top 5 teams in the NFL. We all know who the number 1 team is in the NFL. We'll get to that coming up in a minute. But I want to hear Emil's take on that as well. And coming up at 3 o'clock, my extended conversation with Luke Laus, the Sacramento Kings assistant coach. I'm telling you, you do not want to miss this interview. We got into everything. De'Aaron Fox has improved three-point shooting. Those all-season workouts with Steph Curry and De'Aaron Fox. Why De'Aaron Fox left those things painful. You don't want to miss that story. Plus, Luke's shoe game is on point. He wears size 13 just like me, just like your boy. So he talks about some of his favorite shoes. Plus, he gives us a Trey Lyles update. All that coming up over the next hour and a half before game night comes up at 3:30. But let's talk about what is at stake tonight for your Sacramento Kings. Part 2 between the Pelicans and the Kings. We all witnessed what happened the other night here at the Smoothie King Center. It was a beatdown of seismic proportions, 129-93. It was the kind of loss that the Kings haven't had since the last time they were in New Orleans. If you remember last year, the Pelicans mollywopped the Sacramento Kings. So over the next hour, we're going to get into what do the Kings need to do to improve, get the win. I don't want this to be a Houston Part 2. Remember that first Houston game? They came out listless, got beat down. We all said it, Sacramento Kings fans. We all were like, oh, there's no way they're going to come out like that again. There's no way that they're not going to come with energy and heart. And they did that in Houston. They came out flat, and they got beaten badly again. I expect this team to bounce back in a big way tonight. And I think it's going to depend a whole lot on who plays and who doesn't. And so I want to get into the injury report right now, the most up-to-date injury report. So I'll let you know who's in, who's out, who's questionable. I'm going to give you the official injury report. Then I'm going to give you the Drapes injury report because I was at shoot-around today, and I saw who took part in shoot-around and who did not. All right, here's the injury report. Chris Duarte listed as questionable with left thumb soreness. Keon Ellis is out with that left ankle sprain, so he's out. Alex Lynn is out. Jordan Ford's on the two-way. Trey Lyles right now is listed as questionable. It would be his first action of the season. Keegan Murray also listed as questionable, and Sasha Vezenkov questionable as well. So that's the official injury report with what the Kings and the NBA is going right now. But let me tell you what I saw. Let me tell you what the eye test told me at shoot-around today. Here's what I know. Keegan Murray had an MRI yesterday on his lower back, still waiting to hear exactly the results of that MRI, but I do not think he is going to play tonight. I didn't see him participating in shoot-around, so I believe Keegan Murray is going to be out tonight. So with Keegan Murray out, I fully expect Chris Duarte to get the start for the Sacramento Kings. That's what I saw today. Chris Duarte, he was practicing with the first unit. Also, Sasha Vezenkov. I don't know what's going on. Yesterday, 1 minute, he's not on the injury report. Then they throw him back on the injury report. He's on there right now, but he did take part in shoot around. So I expect Sasha to take part in today's matchup with the Pelicans. And this is a big game, and I want to hear from you guys. You can always hit me up and contact me right here on 916-339-1140. That's how you can hit us up through the text line as well. Also on YouTube on Sactown Sports 1140. But I think this is a big game for Sacramento, and here's why. We know how tough the Western Conference is. Right now, the Kings sit 5th in the West. The Pelicans 7th in the West. The Pelicans are without C.J. McCollum once again tonight. Larry Nance Jr. is questionable. But the Pelicans have been able to stem the tide without C.J. They started off the season 4-2 without him, but they've won 3 out of their last 4 games. So this is a big-time game right here tonight. Plus, you don't want the Pelicans to have the tiebreaker because I think when it's all said and done, the Pelicans will be one of those teams in that 3 to 8, 9, 10 range that you're going to be battling for playoff positioning with. And we know how difficult the Western Conference is. These are games you just can't give away. If the Sacramento Kings want to get to where they say they want to, championship, playoffs, multiple rounds in the playoffs, Western Conference finals, these are the games you got to win. And I know you're shorthanded, but so are the Pelicans. So that's not an excuse. We used the excuse the other day that it was the second night of a back-to-back. So we gave the Kings a pass. We can't give them a pass today, can we? This is a game they have to win. De'Aaron Fox has to be better. De'Aaron Fox the other day in the last game against the Pelicans, he took 18 shots. 12 of them were three-pointers. De'Aaron Fox is better than that. He knows better than that. He knows he needs to get downhill. He knows he needs to touch the paint. And that's why I fully expect this Sacramento Kings team to come out fired up. I was at the film session today, and we're going to talk about how to stop Zion Williamson coming up in a minute. But trust me on this. The first, second, and third thing mentioned at shoot around at today's film session was how to stop Zion Williamson. Coming up in just a minute, we're going to hear from Mike Brown. He's going to tell us, how to stop him, what's his message to the team, all that. But I want to get to a soundbite that Mike Brown had after the game the other night because the Kings are playing with a lot of injuries, obviously shorthanded. Guys are banged up. We understand that. But that's still no excuse. Here's what Coach had to say the other night after the Kings fell to the Pelicans, 129-93.
We had guys hurt. Keegan wasn't the only one that was hurt. Duarte couldn't go back in the game. Keegan couldn't go back in the game. Seemed like 2 or 3 guys couldn't go back in the game. And when your number's called, you got to step up. You got to perform. And I thought in Houston when that happened, we had guys step up and perform. And you're like, okay, wow, okay. We got some fighting guys. I didn't think we had any fight tonight from anybody, especially when it came to Zion.
Thank you, Mike Brown. That's exactly how I felt watching that game. And that would be, if I'm a Sacramento Kings fan, that disappoints me. Hit me up, 916-339-1140. I want to hear from you. What do you think about the Kings, their chances tonight, what you saw the other night on Monday? But what we saw from the Kings, the lack of fight, that's something Mike Brown brought up again today during shoot-around, today during a film session. You got to make this team, talking about the Pelicans, feel you. You got to use your body. We've talked all year long about physicality. And for the most part, the Kings have done that. But they didn't do it on Monday, and that has to change. Because if the Kings want to be that what they say they are, championship contender, you can't have nights like that. And we know in the NBA, everybody loses games, things happen. We understand that. But this Kings team has to have better fight. And you know where that fight starts? It starts with defending Zion Williamson. Zion owned the Kings in that first half, especially on Monday. 22 points, 18 in the second quarter. Every field goal he made, Zion Williamson, every single field goal he made was in the paint. He took 16 shots, all of them in the paint. He made 12 of them, all of them in the paint. When is somebody going to step up and say, you know what, Zion, you need to show me the jump shot. You need to show me something from the perimeter. Make life difficult. In fact, 11 of the 12 shots he made, he was going to his strong hand, his left hand. So when Mike Brown talks about the physicality, the fight, it has to be on someone to step up and say, you know what, Zion, we're not just going to let you go to the rim. Here's another soundbite from Mike Brown talking about how to defend Zion. We know he's a great player. We know he's a two-time All-Star. We know he has immense athleticism. But the Kings have to do a better job and have to have better fight against Zion Williamson today. Here's what Mike Brown said after the game.
When it comes to Zion and his unique physical abilities, what adjustments can you make to try to prevent him from
ask him not to play? I don't know. we got to figure it out. We'll go back and watch the film and see why our double teams weren't getting there on time and see how he split our double teams as easy as he did. You got to give him credit. He's a really good player, very strong, very quick, very athletic, and we were supposed to double team him all night. And I don't think we got to him one time. And if we did get to him, he was going right through our double teams without even blinking.
Mike Brown, thank you again. He's stating the obvious. He's stating what we all saw. We all saw Zion get to his left hand. We all saw Zion get to the paint at will. And, it's interesting talking to Coach about it today. And you'll hear this in that Luke Laux interview that we're going to play at 3 o'clock. Make sure you stick around for that. It's not on the guy who's defending Zion. It's not on Harrison Barnes. It wasn't on Keegan Murray. It's on the other 4 guys out there. You can't defend Zion by yourself. Luke Laux said it. It's like trying to guard LeBron James. It takes a team. You got to build a wall, and the Kings did not do that, allowing Zion to go off, have his best game so far of the season, 26 points. And don't get me started on Brandon Ingram. Nice player, nice talent, but no way in this world should he go 5 for 5 from three-point range. You know why Brandon Ingram went 5 for 5 from three-point range? Because he gassed you in the mid-range. He was feeling it. He was flowing. He was in his game. And so I'm looking towards the adjustments Mike Brown and the Sacramento Kings roster, talking about the players specifically. They need to, come in with a chip on their shoulder. Take the fight to the Pelicans. What we saw the other night was unacceptable. You can't be up 47-44 and then get blown out after that. You had them right where you wanted them. You were playing great, and then it all fell apart. And so tonight, this is a big game for Sacramento. I'm not going to say must win, but this is a must feel good win, right? It's a must be. You got to come out of tonight, head to Minnesota feeling good. You started off 3-0 on this road trip. You dropped to 3-2. Then you got Minnesota. The best you could do is 3-3. That's nice. That's cool, but it's not where it could have been. When you win the first 3 games of a road trip, now in your mind like this, 6 games road trip, 4-2 at worst. And so that's what I want to see from the Sacramento Kings tonight. Hit me up, 916-339-1140. You guys can weigh in, obviously, on the YouTube channel as well, and hit us up on the text line, 916-339-1140. Coming up next, we got a special edition of Drape's Takes. That's right. No game yesterday, but I got some takes about the NBA you don't want to miss. You're listening to The Drive Guys right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey, what's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram in Woodland. What's happening for Chrysler's Black Friday sales event?
We just added even more savings. Now you can save up to $16,500 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 crew cabs with no payments for 90 days. And we have trucks starting as low as $29,995.
Wow. And what about the last of those Dodge muscle cars?
Right now, save up to $6,500 off MSRP on new 2023 Dodge Charger and Challenger GT and SXT with no payments for 90 days. And we even have thousands off MSRP on Scat Packs, Hellcats, and special editions too. And we're turning back the clock and saving you thousands with financing as low as 4.99% for 84 months on all new and used vehicles in stock.
See our full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period. 16.5 total net savings after 11,000 factory rebates and 5,500 dealer discounts. Rebates and $2,000 case construction cash. Must have purchased eligible case equipment from qualifying dealer. 5 of this net savings, $29,995, truck number 123158. 65 total net savings after 2,500 factory rebates and 4,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 500 first responder cash for eligible first responders only. No payments for 90 days on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 4.99% for 84 months. OAC through Travis Credit Union. 14.15 per thousand borrowed.
Calm down, Lion. Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
Live and local. Live and local. It's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Back here on the Drive Guys. It's the remix. Your boy Drape's hanging out with you here at the Smoothie King Center, taking you up to game night with our guy High Flyer Scott Marsh and, of course, G-Man on the call tonight as the Kings look to bounce back against the Pelicans. Let's get into Drape's takes right now. Some things I'm fired up around the NBA, the association. Let me start off by saying this. Adam Silver is a genius. You can criticize him all you want about the in-season tournament. You can criticize him about the name in-season tournament. You can even criticize him about the trophy, the NBA Cup. But what you can't criticize him for is the in-season tournament itself. It has been a rousing success, ladies and gentlemen. From the courts to the jerseys to the competition, I'm loving it. I'm soaking it all up. I think it's been great basketball. Case in point, we saw last night with the Pacers-Atlanta Hawks game. That was a thrilling game. The energy, the effort, the passion. How about that Sixers-Cleveland Cavaliers game? You know what? The in-season tournament is here to stay. And I understand we hate change in our lives. I get it. It's difficult. I hate change too. I hate, changing out laundry. I hate changing my sheets. I hate doing that. I understand that. But what Adam Silver and the league has done here with the in-season tournament, it's here to stay. It's going to be here to stay. It has been a great thing. The players seem to enjoy it. The fans at the actual games, they seem to enjoy it. For the most part, these games are really entertaining outside of the Spurs game, and we saw the Lakers yesterday. But these games in the middle of November actually meaning something. I love the in-season tournament. I may be the only one. Hit me up, 916-339-1140, YouTube chat. But I think the in-season tournament is here to stay. And here's a big reason why the in-season tournament is here to stay. It gives teams that likely don't have a shot at an NBA championship, it gives them something to play for. Case in point, the Indiana Pacers. That's right, I said the Indiana Pacers last night. They clinched the spot in the next stage, the elimination round, with that win, 157-152, over the Atlanta Hawks. The Pacers are a great story right now. They're a good team, but we all know they're not going to win the championship, but it gives them something to play for here in November. And while I'm on the Indiana Pacers, can we give some love to Tyrese Halliburton? That's right, I said Tyrese Halliburton, who may be in the MVP conversation. I know Kings fans, it's been a rough couple weeks. People out on social media, they want to compare Tyrese and De'Aaron Fox. They want to say that the Kings traded the wrong point guard. We know that's hogwash. We know that's BS. But you got to give Tyrese Halliburton some credit because this dude is playing lights out, and he has single-handedly changed the Indiana Pacers franchise. He's changed that culture. He's changed that environment. He's made the Indiana Pacers a fun team to watch. Remember what the Indiana Pacers used to be? Remember when they had Ron Artest, Steven Jackson, Reggie Miller, Rick Smith, all those guys? They were a good team, but let's keep it real. They weren't fun to watch. Right now, the Indiana Pacers are what the Sacramento Kings was a season ago. The Indiana Pacers are league pass worthy. Tyrese Halliburton last night, 37 points, 16 assists, 9 3-pointers. Tyrese Halliburton is going to be in the MVP conversation.
Superstar.
Superstar. Now, hold up down. Kyle Ledbetter, you're my guy. But don't be throwing around the word superstar like that.
Okay.
He's a star. But is he a superstar? I don't know. I need commercials. I need household name. I need him to be on the late night talk shows. I need him to lead Sports Center. He's not quite there, but he's infectious and he is well on his way. And here's the thing, Kings fan. We don't have to be upset about that. We don't have to be haters. We can be okay with Tyrese Halliburton doing his thing. I'm happy for Tyrese. You should be happy for Tyrese. Believe it or not, I'm happy for Buddy Hield. I know you guys aren't. I get it. Buddy threw some shade at Sacramento. I didn't like that. But the Indiana Pacers are this year's league pass must-see team, and it's because Tyrese Halliburton. If I had an MVP vote right now, he would be in my top 5. You know who else would be in my top 5? De'Aaron Fox, because he's playing that well. And we saw how the Kings looked without De'Aaron Fox. With De'Aaron Fox, it is night and day. And De'Aaron is putting up insane numbers. Obviously, he had a rough game the other day here in New Orleans, but I'm not worried about that. So Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox, when it's all said and done, they may be linked forever. But I think it's going to be in a positive way. When we look back on that trade with Domantas Sabonis and Tyrese Halliburton, guys, I say we will look at that trade and both teams, it will have changed their culture of their franchise, the trajectory of the franchise. Without Domantas Sabonis, the Kings aren't who they are. Without Tyrese Halliburton, the Pacers aren't who they are. And so that's Drape's takes for today. I want to hear from you. 916-339-1140 as the Sacramento Kings get ready to take on the New Orleans Pelicans. We started off the segment obviously talking about the Kings' injuries and what that needs to happen tonight against the Pelicans. I do have some good news. I failed to mention this in the opening segment, but right now, Trey Lyles, he's listed as questionable with that left calf strain, but he was a full participant in shoot-around today. He practiced with the second unit. The last time we were out here at Smoothie King Center on Monday, Trey Lyles was playing 5-on-5 full court. That was, in my opinion, the final hurdle for him to get back. So I fully expect Trey Lyles to come back tonight. And we talk about how do you defend Zion. Look for a heavy dose of Trey Lyles on Zion Williams tonight. Trey has the size and physicality to try and guard Zion Williams. It's going to be tough. Zion's a monster. We know that. But Trey Lyles can't come back soon enough. He's rusty. I get it. He hasn't played since preseason. I understand. So we got to temper our expectations. But Trey Lyles is going to be a big part of this Kings team going forward starting tonight. I fully expect Trey Lyles to play tonight. All right, coming up in just a little bit. That's our Kings segment. Don't forget, coming up at 3 o'clock, we got my guy Luke Laux, an in-depth interview with him as he talks about De'Aaron Fox's three-point shooting and those off-season workouts with Steph Curry. That's right. De'Aaron and Steph had multiple off-season workouts. What De'Aaron learned in those workouts, that's coming up at 3 o'clock. But next, we dive into Niners talk, a monster game tomorrow against the Seattle Seahawks. The division up for grabs tomorrow. Our insider, Emil Fergoso, is coming back with us on The Drive, guys, here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Wednesday spotlights increasing clouds, but it'll stay dry across Northern California. We'll have daytime highs in the mid-60s with overnight lows in the lower 40s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every lower-priced certified pre-owned Honda is one we'd buy from ourselves. See our selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
It's the Black Friday Sell-a-thon at Folsom Lake Ford with low prices, low finance rates, and a $500 Amazon gift card on selected vehicles. Now through Monday, shop your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. See dealer for details.
At Jim Boy's Tacos, you get a ho lot of flavor for under $10. Our classic number 2 combo meal spreads cheer with a farm-dusted ground beef taco, scratch-made bean and cheese burrito, and a soft drink. So jingle on down to Jim Boy's or order online at participating locations.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out, Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BC. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
For 35 years, TruckSmart has been your local leader in truck accessories. Find racks, toolboxes, and lighting for your work truck, and trailer hitches, side steps, and bed covers for recreation. They have shells for work or play, and offer Rhino lining, the best bed protection in the business. You like overlanding? TruckSmart has rooftop tents, recovery gear, and heavy-duty bumpers. Trust your ride to their skilled installers and expert sales staff at the Rockland and Auburn locations. TruckSmart. Your truck's gonna love them. Trucksmart.com.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Joining us right now is Emil Fergoso, brought to us by the Timber Creek Golf Course. Book your tee times today at timbercreekgc.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Back here on the Drive Guys, your boy Drape's holding it down solo here on a Wednesday, getting ready for Kings Pelicans here inside Smoothie King Center. As a reminder, you can hear the game right here on Sactown Sports, 1140. G-Man on the call. It all begins at 3:30 with Game Night, the High Flyer Henry Turner and Scott Marsh taking you up to tip-off. Our guy Jason Ross as well. It's my pleasure right now to welcome in our Niners insider for Sactown Sports 1140, Emil Fergoso. And Emil, I'm excited to talk to you, man. I'm pumped up. Huge game tomorrow between the Niners and the Seahawks. Division on the line. First game of a true gauntlet for the Niners squad. But before we get to that, Emil, I need you to admit one thing.
Uh-oh.
Who's the best team in the NFL right now?
Oh, see, I knew you were going to do this. I knew you were going to do this, Drapes.
I asked an objective question. You're an objective NFL guy. You cover the Niners, and you're not biased. So who would you say is the best team in the league right now?
Well, if you're going off of standings, and I'm going to do that in this ranking, it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. I have them number 1. I have the Niners number 2, and then I have the Cowboys number 3 with the Chiefs at 4 and the Dolphins at 5.
Really? Let's stay right there for a second. We'll talk the big matchup coming up in a minute. The Chiefs at number 4 behind the Cowboys. Yeah. We saw the Cowboys get pasted by the Niners 42-10 earlier this season.
Mm-hmm.
Why the Chiefs so low and why the Cowboys so high?
I think the Philadelphia Eagles game is kind of a clear example of why I have the Chiefs so low, is because they don't have enough weapons. You know, Patrick Mahomes has been able to get this done for many years with, little to no help besides Travis Kelce. And I think this year, the reason why the Chiefs will not be making a big, deep run in the postseason will be because of their wideouts. They just don't have enough skilled position players out there. And I think it's going to really cost them. And so when you're looking at team ranking and where they're at right now, yes, they were up in that game against Philadelphia. It was bad conditions, all that great stuff. But I think that Dallas is a more complete team than Kansas City is right now. And that's just kind of my overall thinking.
Coming off that win the other night for the Eagles, I was thinking that may be the best win in the NFL by anybody this season.
Mm-hmm.
But, when you look at Kansas City, do you think the magic, the Mahomes magic, has worn off? The Andy Reid, are they very vulnerable? 3 straight games without scoring a touchdown in the second half. Is their run over?
Over, no. I think it's kind of on a standstill right now. I still think if they had actual wide receivers out there, enough, people, Mahomes made the right plays to get it done on Monday night, and just, MVS Marquise Valdez-Scantling dropped the pass, a deep ball, very similar to Emmanuel Sanders back in the day with the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo. And then he had that comeback route, the 20-yard fourth down comeback route. And again, they dropped the pass again. So Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the NFL, and that's why they're still ranked this high. And they have a really good defense this year, very underrated defense, actually, in the NFL this year. But their offense just doesn't seem to be clicking the same way because of a lack of skilled players, and the offensive line is just not staying up right as they have in recent memory. So if Kelsey's not fully healthy, and it seems like he's really kind of shown his age a little bit the last couple of weeks with these injuries, I do think the Chiefs are kind of a step down this year. But all it takes is 1 or 2 more pieces offensively for them to be right back up there at the top.
Yeah, well, we will see. Obviously, still a lot of time left to be played. Let's dive into tomorrow's game between the Niners and the Seahawks. Seahawks coming off a tough loss. Niners coming off 2 straight wins.
Yep.
Handicap this matchup. How do you see this one playing out?
I see Niners win this game, first and foremost. I just do. I think the Niners are going to get their lick back. Look, Niner faithful is very, very mad. They're still upset about 2014 when Seattle came into Levi Stadium and ate the turkey leg on the field. They're really not happy about that. So they see it as an opportunity to get their lick back and get this win and get some bragging rights against Seattle. And not only that, because of Seattle losing to the Rams, the Niners have a half game up on them, and they really have a chance here to make this in the next 3 weeks, kind of settle the division entirely. If they beat the Eagles, that's a great thing. But beating Seattle both week 12 and then week 14, that kind of wraps up the division a little bit. Obviously, anything can happen, but they're 2.5 games up on them then, and that's kind of what they're focusing on is, hey, let's get out of this gauntlet of dirty bird games the next 4 weeks. Let's get out of it, go maybe 3-1, 4-0. That's really the goal here, and that's where they're at.
3-1, 4-0. Who are you including? Who's that 4th team you're including? Were you including this last week against Tampa Bay or
the Cardinals?
Come on. They already beat. Mark that down, Emil. You know that. Come on, that's already a W, right?
Kyle's sitting in there, so he knows it. They've been more competent. They've been more competent against teams. They took the Texans to a close game last week, and they kind of learned. Look, Ledbetter, I get it. I understand. But you have to admit that they look at least a little more confident with Kyler Murray under center. And he's still a very talented quarterback that is a running quarterback and gives the Niners, especially Niners who struggle against running quarterbacks, fits in the past. So I do think it'll be a closer game. Yes, I think the Niners will win on the road, but anything can happen in divisional matchups. You know this first and foremost, Drapes.
All right. That we're going to talk about that when it comes up in a few weeks. Back to tomorrow's game. The Seahawks, when I look at them, I'm trying to figure out who they are. What's their identity? They got a couple losses against the Rams, but then they lost to the Ravens and Bengals. Those aren't two bad losses by any stretch of the imagination. So when you look at the Seahawks, what are they? Who are they? How good can they be?
Yeah, I kind of compared the Seahawks to the Minnesota Vikings of the NFC West, especially last year. Of like, they're good enough to like be a playoff contention, but are they good enough to go all the way? I just don't think so. I know Geno Smith is going to end up playing tomorrow, but they're going to be without Kenneth Walker III, their starting running back. He has an oblique injury, and their offensive line is banged up as well. Charles Cross has been banged up this year. Abraham Lucas, I know he is scheduled to come back at some point this season. I don't think it's going to be this week, maybe next week. And if their line's not the same, they're not going to do much. And then defensively, they're one of the worst defenses in the NFL. They give up all these passing yards, including Bobby Wagner and the linebackers, who gave up 374 yards passing just this season by Bobby Wagner alone as a linebacker. They're just not on their standards as a Legion of Boom in years past and all that great stuff. So I do think the Niners are going to go into Seattle and have a really good offensive showing.
They'll have a good offensive showing, no doubt. And I wonder defensively, did Chase Young, was that all that needed to happen for this defense to get back to playing well?
I mean, that and Steve Wilkes moving down from the booth to the sideline.
I forgot that. Yeah.
No, look, this team during their 3 games, it felt like they lost their heart and soul. They weren't playing the same. And I do think that losing Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams kind of played a factor in that, both on offense and defense, because they're a very emotionally based team. They feed off of emotion and energy to get the job done. That's why they're kind of like sharks in the water. Once they smell a little bit of blood, they go for the kill. But they weren't getting that against the Bengals. They weren't getting that against the Vikings. They weren't getting that against the Browns. They were having tougher matchups. And Fred Warner always talks about winning these grimy games, winning these, one-score possession games. They haven't won one really this season. So I could see that possibly happening against Seattle, where it's going to be a close game. I could see it being 31-24 or 27-20. It's going to be a closer game. I do think Seattle's going to have some offensive success, but I do think this is where the Niners defense comes through in the end and really shows their caliber.
You mentioned some of the Seahawks injuries. Geno Smith, what's his status? Is he going to be able to go? And how will that impact this game, you think?
Yeah, so Geno Smith has an elbow injury, and Pete Carroll just talked about this recently. He is going to be able to go. They expect him to go tomorrow. He was pretty much a full participant today in practice on their walkthrough. And his injury, it's not a torn ligament. It's nothing like that. It's more of an elbow contusion. So he has a bruise on his elbow, and they gave him a couple of days rest, let the swelling come down. He seems to be doing okay and looked good today. Whereas with Kenneth Walker, their starting running back, has an oblique injury. And thankfully, it's not a sports hernia injury, which is much worse because that's a terrible injury to have as an athlete. But he's going to be out for at least this week. He's not an IR candidate, but he'll be out for a couple of weeks, it looks like. And so it's going to rely on Zach Charbonnet, their rookie running back from UCLA. And the rest of the team, DK, is also a little banged up too. So I think Seattle's going to have a tough time if they can't get things going right away.
What about the Niners injury situation? Because you talked earlier, we talked about, the injuries to Deebo and Trent earlier, but that offensive line is banged up on the other side. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so both Aaron Banks, their left guard, and Spencer Burford, their right guard, are listed as questionable for tomorrow. Now, I will say Banks, I think, is more likely to play than Burford. Burford's injury is a little more serious. Banks is coming back from a turf toe injury that he's been out for about 3 weeks now. He seems about ready to go. And for Burford, he has a knee ailment. We don't know the specifics on that. But if it was a Sunday game, Kyle already mentioned it, that he would be able to go. Kyle Shanahan said this. He would be able to go if it was a regular week, a regular Sunday game. Because a Thursday game, a short week, they don't want to push it too hard with their second-year right guard. And so you could maybe see John Feliciano slide in from the left guard spot to the right guard spot for this game and this game only.
I want to talk about Brock Purdy, and I know I haven't. I've been off. You're like, you got all your ammunition. He played great the other day. When I look at Brock Purdy, as great as he is, and he's playing amazingly, to me, and I've said this pretty much from the outset.
Yeah.
Regular season numbers aren't going to do it for me, Emil.
Okay.
And so there's still a segment that thinks he's a system guy, that's unimpressed. And I'm part of that to an extent. You throw in any starting quarterback in the league in this system right now, any of the top 15, top 20 quarterback, top 25 quarterbacks in the league in this system, and I think they're going to play well. Now, I want to get your thoughts on Brock Purdy, not the numbers. Don't recite stats to me, Emil.
Okay.
Tell me what your eye test is telling you. You're the expert. What am I missing about Brock Purdy?
He's the real freaking deal, Kyle. He's the real freaking deal. I'm just being honest with you. And this is not even speaking from just how when he came on as a starter week 13 against the Dolphins last year and week 14 against the Buccaneers when he had that breakout game. I saw glimpses of really good football and really good quarterback play when they played the Packers in preseason of 2022 when Trey Lance was going to be the quarterback, when Jimmy Garoppolo was going to be the quarterback. Forget Brock Purdy, the last pick in the draft, beat out a veteran and Nate Sudfeld to get the third-string scout team job. And then every single week got first-team reps against the first-team defense as a scout team quarterback. That only helps grow with confidence. And what speaks about Brock Purdy and why he's so talented is because he's never up and down. He's never emotionally up and down. He's always level-headed. He's always humble, always about doing the right thing. He talks about being the surgeon on the field. He's not about his stats. He's about winning football games. That's all he cares about is winning football games. He is a perfectionist at that. Even after having a perfect passer rating Sunday, the third Niner quarterback in history, last since 1989, Joe Montana, he goes, yeah, there were some plays I want back. He was 21 for 25. And he goes, yeah, there's some plays I want back. We made some mistakes out there. He's literally built he is the perfect quarterback for Kyle Shanahan. But now that he can throw the deep ball, which he's number one in the NFL at throwing the deep ball, the offense is only expanded because of it. So Brock Purdy and all the haters and all the players talk about this too. They go, keep talking, keep having this hatred because Brock Purdy plays with that chip on his shoulder. Nobody's stopping him.
But you know what? And as great as the numbers are, as nice as he looks, the only way to really silence us talking about the haters, is to do it on the biggest of stages, right?
Sure.
He has to do it right there. Think about it. He's playing best quarterback rating in the league, not turning it over, completion percentage out of the roof, but nobody's talking about him as an MVP candidate. Why is that? They got Jalen Hurts, my guy, who hasn't had a great season. All he does is win. But statistically, he hasn't had a great. They got Jalen Hurts ahead of Brock Purdy. Why do you think that is?
Because it's bad for business. It's bad for business for the mystery relevant, the last pick in the draft, to be the NFL MVP. They have, breadwinners and Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes and all these guys. It's bad for business for the last pick in the draft, a guy named Brock Purdy, to be the NFL MVP. Alan Stiles brought this up on his show this week. It's not a great look for the NFL. And so there's always going to be haters and there's always going to be all this naysayer stuff because Brock Purdy, yes, he is surrounded by really elite talent. Yes, Brandon Ayuk's awesome. Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, you name it. They have a ton of talent around him. I get it. I understand it. But the throws that man makes, Brock Purdy, are throws that Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't make, CJ Beathard couldn't make, Brian Hoyer couldn't make. Every other quarterback Kyle Shanahan has had could not make those throws on a consistent basis. And not only that, Brock Purdy is so great at getting out of the pocket, finding the open receiver, getting into space, and making plays when there's nothing there. That's what makes Brock Purdy so special.
Emil Fregoso, always defending Brock Purdy.
He's my guy, man.
Saying those 3 games they lost. You weren't defending them then. You were kind of quiet then, Emil, but I'm going to let you slide on that, man.
He was still playing well. It just he had a couple lapses. It's okay. He's 23. Me and Brock Purdy are the same age. He's 23. I'm 23. We make mistakes. We're not perfect.
Think about that. He's quarterbacking the Niners, and you're hanging out with Drapes on a Wednesday.
It's a great life, man. It's a great life.
Emil Fregoso, great stuff as always. You can check him out on SactownSports.com. Emil, brought to you by the Timber Creek Golf Course. Book your tee times today at timbercreekgolfcourse.com, timbercreekgc.com. Emil, appreciate you, man. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you too, Drapes. Get home safe from New Orleans.
All right, my man, Emil Fregoso, right here on Sactown Sports 1140. You're listening to The Drive, guys. Coming up in just a minute, We knew there were Kings fans all around the world, but I didn't know it was a religion out there. That's right, Kings Nation. We're a religion. We got that coming for you next on Sactown Sports. You're listening to The Drive Guys.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by E.B. Stone. E.B. Stone, for the life of your garden. Make it 2 wins in a row for the 49ers, taking down Tampa Bay 27-14. Quarterback Brock Purdy was perfect in Week 11, becoming only the third 49ers gunslinger to have a perfect pass rating of 158.3. He also had 333 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions in the game. The 49ers will look to make it 3 in a row this week, traveling to Seattle for a Turkey Day clash with their division rivals.
Celebrating over a century as a family-owned business, E.B. Stone has gathered invaluable insights into nurturing plant growth. Venture into indoor planting with E.B. Stone's Edna's Best indoor and outdoor potting soil. Watch your little plants flourish into ideal indoor companions for the whole family to relish during the holidays. E.B. Stone's indoor and outdoor potting soil is a meticulously crafted blend of essential ingredients. Your plants will thrive, both indoors and outdoors. Trust E.B. Stone for the entire lifespan of your garden. Explore more gardening tips, products, and find nearby locations at ebstone.org. Wishing you a season filled with joy and flourishing green.
Mercedes-Benz of Stockton warmly suggests that you add a Mercedes to your holiday shopping list this year. With finance rates as low as 4.99% APR or 72 months on sedans, SUVs, and all-electric Mercedes cars, it's a great time to visit Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Just 45 minutes from Sacramento, right off I-5. Family-owned Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, where we make buying your Mercedes a special event you'll never forget. mbofstockton.com.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
It's the biggest automotive event of the year. This coming Saturday, Elk Grove Kia is unleashing Black Weekend. We're talking vehicles starting at an unbelievable $500. Yes, you heard it right, just $500. Brand new 2024 Kia Fortes are yours starting at an incredible $178 a month plus tax. These deals are so hot, they won't last. Worried about your credit? Fear not. We've got you covered. No credit application will be turned away. Hurry in this weekend to Elk Grove Kia because it's first in, first served, and these deals won't last. Visit us at elkgrovekia.com or see us in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. 2015 Chevy Malibu, 129205 and 2008 Mazda 3, 121836, $500. Price does not include government fees, taxes, document processing charge, and electronic filing charge, and any emissions testing charge. 2024 Kia Forte GT line lease for $178 per month for 24 months plus tax. 750 Kia lease cash was $34.95 without payment. With residual $18,580 based on 10K per year, 27 months. Over no security deposit required. Kia finance tier 1 approval subject to price. Include this payment. GK payment. 3 Kia 946 March 11.
Elk Grove Kia.
Does your dog leave frowny piles of poo around the yard? Did you know that a solid poo is one of the best indicators of your dog's gut health? Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food is made with organic super seaweed and other powerful antioxidants, supporting a healthy digestive system. Real protein is always the first ingredient, plus a blend of essential vitamins and minerals to help support your dog's overall health and well-being. Do their digestion a solid, literally. Find Supreme Source Premium Dog Food at Safeway, Safe Mart, and Winco, or a local grocery store near you.
Prestigio Jewelers Black November sale is on all month long. Get amazing doorbuster deals while supplies last. 1 carat diamond earrings only $449. Wedding sets starting at only $899. 70% off gold chains and much more. Get quick and easy credit approval and low monthly payments at Prestigio Jewelers. No credit, bad credit, even bankruptcy, you're approved. Prestigio Jewelers guarantees your credit up to $10,000. Shop designer brands such as Cartier, Gucci, Bulova, and Citizen. Visit us today or online at prestigiojewelers.com. See store for details.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I have terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Back here on the Drive Guys, your boy Drape's holding it down. Whitey on vacation, heading over to Japan with family. Meanwhile, I'm coming to you from the Smoothie King Center right now as we get closer to Kings Pelicans right here on Sactown Sports 1140. I'm looking out on the court right now. Keon Ellis just did some free throw shooting. He's out. Sasha Vezenkov is out there right now working on some shooting. Not sure if he's going to play right now. He's listed as questionable. He did take part in shoot around earlier today, so we'll see if Sasha gives it a go. Of course, they'll have more on that coming up next on game night and the pregame show as they take you up the tip-off between the Kings and the Pelicans. I don't know if you guys saw this on social media today. It's making the rounds. I think Vivek posted it on his Instagram as well. But the Sacramento Kings, I knew there was a following. Every arena I go to, I hear Light the Beam. I see Kings fans. But now we're at the Vatican. Now the Pope himself is going to become a Sacramento Kings fan. Here's what I'm talking about. We're going to play some sound for you. What you're going to hear right now is Sacramento Kings minority owner Doreen Dominguez with the Pope giving him a custom Sacramento Kings jersey. Take a listen to this.
So this, I own a basketball team, and this is the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento. 2013, because you became Pope in 2013.
I love it. I love it. I'm all in. I'm all for that. Doreen said 2013. I saw the 13 and I was like, oh, that's my boy Keegan Murray. She hitting him off with a Keegan Murray jersey.
Thought the same exact thing. I thought it was going to be Keegan.
Right, Kyle? I'm like, oh my God, giving him a Keegan jersey. And she turned it around and it said Francis on it, Pope Francis. And all right, so but you know what? If I'm a Kings fan, to get that kind of love, that kind of publicity, that kind of attention, we're like ordained now, right? Like we're a team of destiny, right? We're the Pope's team right now. The Pope, hopefully he's a fan of the beam. The Pope, after tonight's win, maybe he will think, light the beam. I think that's truly amazing. So shout out to Doreen for hooking him up with that Kings jersey. And Kings fans, you should be so proud because this franchise has come a long way. And I mentioned it earlier. The Pacers are sort of trying to follow in our footsteps. You know, what we did last year, fun, exciting league pass. Now we're a legitimate franchise with a legitimate title shot, with legitimate all-stars, legitimate coach, legitimate front office. It's a great day to be a Kings fan. All right, coming up in just a little bit, that much-promised interview with Luke Laux. You don't want to miss it, guys. He talks about his shoe game. He talks about Trey Lyles coming back. He talks about De'Aaron Fox's improved three-point percentage. And the part you definitely don't want to miss, he talks about the off-season workouts with Steph Curry. What did De'Aaron learn, and why was De'Aaron in pain after that initial workout? You don't want to miss that. I got that coming up for you next on The Drive Guys here on Sactown Sports 1140.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
It's the season of performance event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed
Coach,
your
thanks for joining me.
expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and
All right,
making
Coach,
your
thanks for
home
joining me.
comfort
Obviously,
as
we're on the
efficient
road
as
here in the
possible
midst of this
for the most
6-game road
value.
trip.
So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Pat Green and Diamond Rio. Live in concert, Saturday, December 9th, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. Country music icons, Pat Green and Diamond Rio. With special guest, Mark Wills. On sale now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Pat Green and Diamond Rio.
It's the Black Friday Sell-a-thon at Folsom Lake Ford with low prices, low finance rates, and a $500 Amazon gift card on selected vehicles. Now through Monday, shop your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. See dealer for details.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Welcome back to Sactown Sports 1140. The Drive Guys with your boy Drapes holding it down, taking you up to the bottom of the hour, 3:30 game night with the high flyer himself, Scott Marsh, getting ready for Kings Pelicans Part 2, looking out at the floor. Sasha still getting up some shots. Looks like he's going through his normal routine. I think that's a good sign. Right now, he is listed as questionable with that left thumb soreness. Also out there on the court right now, Davion Mitchell getting up some shots. He's going to get some burn today with Keon Ellis being out. So we'll see Davion, see what he does. I guess the big news regarding injury front, two things. Keegan Murray, I think he's going to be out despite still being listed as questionable with lower back soreness. Once again, he did not take part in shoot-around today, so I do not expect him to play tonight against the Pelicans. But I do expect Trey Lyles to make his season debut, and not a moment too soon. He's been out with that calf strain all season long. You're going to hear from Luke Laux coming up in just a minute. Trey had a setback with the calf strain. That's why he's been out so long, but it looks like he is going to be good to go. Listed as questionable, but he took part in that 5-on-5 on Monday. He took part in shoot-around today, practiced with the second team. So I expect Trey Lyles to be in the lineup out there tonight against the Pelicans, which is going to be a big game, obviously, after losing Monday night in a bad way. This is one of those, not a must-win, I said, but it's a must-feel-good. We got to come out of this game tonight feeling good about our Sacramento Kings. I had a chance to sit down with Luke Laux after shoot-around today. We talked to everything from De'Aaron Fox's shooting to the off-season workouts with Steph Curry to Trey Lyles coming back. And how the heck do you stop Zion Williamson? Let's dive into that interview. Here's Luke Laux, Kings assistant coach. All right, Coach, thanks for joining me. Obviously, we're on the road here in the midst of this 6-game road trip. Got a big game tonight against the Pelicans. How would you assess where we are right now as a team?
Yeah, overall, the road trip's been really good. Obviously, last game was really tough. Fourth game in 6 nights on a back-to-back. And Mike said it before the game and after the game. It's no excuse. Every team in the NBA has to go through back-to-backs and have to go through tough road trips, and we got to be professional and show up. And we didn't do that. We had no pop on offense. We had no physicality on defense, and we got our behinds kicked. So fortunately, we get to play them again, and I think our guys are ready to go.
You know, we watched Zion up close and personal on Monday, and he's a beast. He's a load. And I know on the scouting report, keep him from going left, keep him out of the paint, but it's easier said than done, right?
Yeah, how'd that go?
I think you might still be scoring in the paint right now.
Yeah, we didn't do our job individually nor collectively against Zion and really against their whole team. Obviously, it was expounded with Zion because it's all just right at the rim. He shot 0 jump shots, and it seemed like he had 50 layups on us, and every single one of them was the same way. We did a poor job adjusting, and we did a poor job at the point of attack on him. Hopefully our game plan will stick a little bit better tonight. We'll have a little more energy. We had a day off yesterday, give the guys some rest. But it's honestly with a guy like him, and it's similar to LeBron and Giannis and these physical specimens, right? You cannot do the job alone. It takes 5 guys to stop those guys. Everyone can point fingers of who was guarding them. Why didn't they do their job? No, you can't guard guys like that one-on-one. So I think we have a really good game plan going into tonight. We just got to execute it and play with a little more urgency and a little more physicality.
Here we are a month into the season, and as clear as day, there are no nights off in the NBA, especially this year. What about the parity in the Western Conference? We see Houston's balling out right now. Every night is going to be a tough matchup.
Yes, especially early in the season, right? Everyone has hope early in the season, and then the season kind of plays out, and some teams, rise and some teams drop. But these first 20, 25 games, it's usually like this. If you think about last year, I think Utah started like 10-2 or 9-3.
Yeah, they got off to a good start.
Everyone's so excited to play and show what they've been working on in the offseason. And coaches are so locked in. And then, for whatever reason, usually the better teams just stay consistent and keep working, and things generally pan out the right way, barring injuries, which, we've been fortunate last year to avoid those, and we've been a little nicked up now. But so far across the league, you see, like, even in the East, Orlando, and like you mentioned, the West, Houston, teams that going into the season, there probably weren't a lot of expectations, but, you show up and you realize real quick that every team has NBA players. We're still in the NBA. It doesn't matter what your expectations are. These guys are trying to make a living. They're trying to work for their families, and they're good players. They're talented players. So you got to show up every night with a championship mentality. If it doesn't matter who we're playing, this is about what we do.
Yeah.
And I think our guys are coming around on that, and I think there's still a ton of room for improvement in that area.
I was going to ask you about that, because this team, talking about the Kings, we haven't been whole all season long yet. I mean, Trey Lyles, hopefully he plays tonight. You got Keegan banged up. How, as a coach, how difficult is it to get into a flow, a rhythm with these guys? I know it's the NBA, but when you have guys in and out, nicked up here and there.
Yeah, everyone goes through it. We had the stretch with Fox out. I think we went 2 and 3 in that stretch. Like you said, Trey's been out the whole season. He was close, and then he had a setback, and pretty sure he'll play tonight. And then, like you mentioned, Keegan, Alex Lynn, Keon, Duarte, Sasha. Like we've had over the course of 13, 14 games now, we've had anywhere from 6 or 7 guys with, whether it's missing a whole game or missing a half a game or missing a stretch of games. But the reality is, just like I said, with back-to-backs, every team in the NBA goes through this. Like Phoenix, for example, hasn't had a single minute with their big three,
right?
Not a single minute.
Yeah.
And so for us to complain about guys missing, it would be, it would do us a disservice, because everyone goes through it.
Right.
It's part of the NBA, and that's why you hopefully have the depth and the guys that stay ready with their preparation, and our coaching staff, and so that when their minutes are increased, or when they go from 0 minutes to a rotation spot, they're ready to go.
I know you worked a lot, obviously, with De'Aaron Fox. His numbers are up 37.5% from three. He's taken 9 threes per game. Tell me about the offseason work you did with De'Aaron this year.
Yeah, it was similar to last year. Obviously, the shooting is always going to be a big focus. We both feel like, and our staff and organization feel like, if he can shoot the ball at a consistent level, there's really no way to guard him. That's just the reality. He's so quick, he's so fast, he's so skilled. He has great touch in the but he's, if not the best, one of the best guard finishers in the NBA around the rim and around the paint. And last year his numbers were historic, within a couple feet of the basket at like LeBron, Giannis, Jokic levels, which is insane for a guy his size. Yeah. So when you have that talent and then you couple it with shooting, it's really, defenses are at the mercy of what he wants to do. Which is how you want your star player to be. That's talk about championship teams, the Jokic's, LeBron's, the Stephs, KD's, go across the board. They always have at least one, if not two of those guys where there's really nothing you can do. You just hope you can slow them down. Yeah. And I think up to this point this season, Fox has been playing at that level. He's been playing at an MVP championship caliber level. And our focus as a staff, and we tell him every day, and his focus personally, if he can stay at that level and then bring his teammates up with him, we're gonna have a real shot at this thing. And it's got to be a consistent every game or not. Practice, shooting workouts. Okay. The focus on the habits and the details are what makes you that level of player. The talent's there. There's probably 20, 30 guys with maybe his level of talent. But the habits are what takes those guys, and the competitiveness are what takes those guys to what you're seeing now of no, every day is the same. There's no days off. Now you have rest days, but when you step foot on the court, it's on.
You're bringing it,
and it's on not just for you. It's on for
and you're
everyone
seeing
around
that from him, right?
Absolutely. He's shown so much growth and whatever you want to call it, leadership. You want to call it, that's what I would call it. Just his leadership, and it's not a fake rah rah. I'm gonna get everyone going. It's like, no, I'm trying to win, and if you're gonna play with me, we're trying to win. And I think when you showed that level of dedication between him, Domas, your quote unquote leaders, there's nowhere to hide. Yeah. There's nowhere to hide as a role player. So if we're going to try to do this thing, and that's our coaching staff, we're not coming here to make the play. We're trying to win a championship.
Right.
And the guys can feel that when we coach. The best thing as a coach to feel is your star players also start showing that every day. And that's where this thing really comes together. Yeah. So you talk about the shooting. To me, the shooting is a byproduct of his focus to details. Yeah. And he's to me, he's capable. He's more than a capable shooter. It's every single workout. You don't just get shots up to get shots up. You get shots up to make shots. And when you do that, all of a sudden it starts translating to the game, because you get in the game and you're like, oh, this feels the same. This isn't like a game to a practice. This is like, I've been doing this every day.
That's one of the things, and I know, you're on the Warrior staff, Steph Curry, like the way he practices is game speed. It's not just, I'm floating around. With De'Aaron, how many shots are you getting up a day? And is it a 500? Is it like, what's the method of what you guys are doing?
Yeah, you mentioned Steph, and we were fortunate. De'Aaron signed with this company with the Steph Curry and Under Armour, and we were fortunate enough to, with my relationship and then Steph's relationship with De'Aaron, go work out with Steph quite a bit this summer, and small little segments. We would go down to San Francisco and Palo Alto and work out with them, and a few little, whatever you want to call them, mini camps. And it's easy for a coach to tell guys, like, we've been around these guys. I've been around, KD and Steph and Clay and Chris Paul and Book, and like, these are the way these guys work. And it's easy for me to say that. It's a different thing for Fox to feel that. It's tangible. It's right in front of you. And it was crazy. The first time he worked out with them, he was excited and he was ready to go. And by the end of the workout, his forearms were cramping.
Really?
His forearm, like he literally, I've never seen anyone's his forearms were cramping from not only the volume, but how intense everything is. And he after the workout, Fox is looking at me, and I'm like, yeah, like, and it's not, this isn't every day. This is how he works out. And that's why when you see him in the NBA finals, or like in game 7 dropping 50, like that's who he is.
Yeah.
And so I think once you see that with your own eyes and you feel it, automatically his level of work is like, oh, that's what it takes. All right, here we go.
Right.
So
wow.
So I think I forget what even question you asked, but for Fox to transform our team and himself into that player, that's the work that goes into it. And I think he's doing that, at a top tier level right now.
It's important to see greats, all-time greats, and like you said, see it for yourself. Like you said, oh, this is what Steph doing. This is what it takes. I'm gonna get there, and that's what we're seeing from De'Aaron. Now you went, the story obviously you went on the honeymoon workout. We know that, but did you guys go anywhere exotic again this year? Did you go overseas, or was it pretty much local this year?
Yeah, it was mostly local.
Okay.
I'd say 90% of the summer we were in Sacramento, which is great for me. I have 3 kids and a young family, and he has kids and a young family and a new wife, and to just stay in your community and get some time to digest the season, but also take a step back while you work and get your off season work in. But we ended up going to Spain this year.
Everybody went to Spain. I heard Davion went to Spain also. Do they have like an NBA players? Is that
yeah, we didn't go there. They have a players association gym in Malaga in the south of Spain. It's really nice. That players association did a great job with it.
Right.
We ended up going to Barcelona, actually close to Jordy's hometown. And Jordy actually hooked us up with Ricky Rubio's people. So we worked out in Rubio's gym. Bielitsa was over there. There was a couple guys that we ran into and worked out. So we spent about a week in Barcelona, a little less than a week, and then we spent a handful of days in Madrid. And we worked out at Real Madrid's facility in Madrid. So it was a great way to whatever you want to call it, vacation. Well, not really taking a vacation. We would basically block off from anywhere 9:30 in the morning till around noon. And that was our work day.
That was the work.
And we got Zach Howe, our head strength coach, came with too. Both of our wives came, so they would all hang out by the pool. They would come watch the workout, and then basically the rest of the day was fun. We were on the beach, went paddle boarding, going out to eat. A great trip, but it still.
I'm jealous. You know that, right? I'm listening to this. I'm like, man, I was just hanging in Folsom all summer. But go ahead.
No, it was and for me and my wife especially, I played overseas, so that we've lived that experience. And you get into coaching, you don't get to just pop over there anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I was playing in Germany and Belgium and all these countries, but when you're over there and you have a day off, you can just pop over to Paris. You know what I mean? You can see the world and feel it. And like you're part of these communities, and then you just take that away, and now you're coaching them, and life's still amazing, but you miss that side of it, you know? So when D and Rissé came up and said they want to take another trip, I was like, I'm let's do it.
Let's do it. Right.
Yeah.
Let me know if you need any play-by-play or any studio work or anything. I'll go too next time.
That's great.
You coached the summer league squad. I know that was a great experience for you. Just describe doing that this summer.
Yeah, it was special. It's super grateful that Mike would choose me to do that, and super grateful. It was one of the best growing experiences for me as a coach, learning experiences. Obviously I'm competitive and want to win every game, but to go through, and it's just basically, maybe 6 weeks with the planning leading up to it, putting the team together and working with the front office with that, and then going into a mini training camp. And then you have the 2 summer leagues, one in Sacramento, one in Vegas. It was an incredible experience. I learned so much. I felt like it made me a better assistant coach for Mike, even though obviously the stakes aren't as high, but you get to feel what, on a very minute level, what Mike goes through on a day-to-day,
right?
In terms of the preparation, the planning. You got your whole coaching staff, plus a front office, plus a medical staff, plus a performance staff, all coming to you for what you want to do. And
so you handled all of that. Like you were guys giving the answers. Like they came to you for everything.
If they had a question, it was like, hey, what do you want to do with this? How do you want to handle this? And that part of it, and it has nothing to do with X's and O's. It has nothing to do with game. Like that part of it was such a good learning opportunity for me to see what like really goes into being a head coach.
Right.
Because you don't think about any of that stuff as an assistant. You don't think about you know, guys coming up with these random questions. How do you want to deal with this?
Right.
Like, you're just like, all right, what's the game plan? What's my scout? How do I work this guy out? Like, how do I get this guy better? And as a head coach, you realize real quick, like, how much you need to depend on your assistants for guidance in times of like, all right, I have a pretty good feel of what I want to do. What are you guys seeing?
Right.
And I think that when you're sitting in that seat, it's going to make you a better assistant, because now you have that lens a little bit of like, all right, you have to be very detailed with your opinion, and you always have to have a why. And I always try to go back to what I'm seeing and then do the numbers support that. Right.
Okay. Right.
And you got to be quick with it, because a coach has got to gather, 5, 6, 7 different opinions and then make your decision.
Make the decision. Yeah.
And so if you guys got coming up at left field and this and that and Mike handles it better than anyone I've ever been around.
Really?
Like
Yeah.
he loves outside the box opinions. It doesn't matter who it comes from. It doesn't have to be from Jordy or myself or Jay or Doug. It could come from a film guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he'll listen.
He'll listen and take that into account.
And then he'll say, why? Why do you want to do that? And then if you have a good reason, and then you say also, and then the numbers would support this. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna think about that.
All right.
And he'll do it.
Yeah.
And so going back to summer league, like you don't realize how many different opinions and little things. And then sometimes in the middle of the game, we're playing. I think it was Atlanta, one of our first couple of games in Vegas, and they went small on us, and they were just like hitting threes. And one of our coaches was like, we should go small back. And I'm looking over there, and I'm like, yeah, we could do that. And one of the other ones is like, no, let's go big. and I'm like, all right, so which way do we go?
Right,
do we go small or do we go big?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting, and you got 10 seconds.
Right. You got to make it on the fly.
And
right?
so we ended up going small. They hit another 3, and I was put the bigs in. And we literally just pounded the post and won the game. And it's so anti what I believe in basketball.
Right.
But it's what helped us win.
It
the
worked
game.
out. Yeah.
So little things like that. Now you on a way smaller level, the stakes were nothing compared to what Mike goes through. Now you think about, all right, we're playing New Orleans tonight. I already have 6 ideas of what could work in the game, but you got to feel the game before you go with that opinion.
Yeah, right. You got to see how it plays out. Right. Before I let you go, I always admire your shoe game. Trust me, I peep you. I may not say anything when we come into the gym or the arena, but I'm like, I wonder what Luke got on today. Tell me about your shoe game, man, and who's your connect? You put me on to him or what? Great. You always got the J's on.
Yeah, a lot of J's, a lot of Kobe's.
Yeah.
I think it comes with playing like with hooping.
Yeah.
If you hoop at any level, you're gonna be naturally in the. You should be in the kicks. It's like your instrument, right? Like doctors have your instrument. Like we have to wear shoes. Now they don't have to be nice, but you got to wear shoes to hoop. But I got into shoes probably my freshman or sophomore year at Florida State, playing at Florida State. And we got a pair of going into the NCAA tournament. We got a pair of like all black Kobe 6s. And I was like, oh, these are nice. They felt good and you look good. And then it just kind of grew from there. Playing overseas, I would always try to go, get some nice shoes on the side.
Okay.
We go to shoe stores and we traveled around. And now with having 3 kids, I can't like spend the money.
Right.
You got stuff
there.
You got food to afford.
Diapers, all that.
But fortunately, we have some good connections with Nike, and then our players obviously have all the connections in the world. And they can get shoes that I've never even seen before. So like Malik will I guess you say hand me down some shoes, and Fox is so generous with his shoes, and fortunately we all wear. There's like 6 or 7 of us that all wear size 13. And so,
I wear 13 too. 13. Yes, I do, big dog. I need the hand-me-downs. You know what I mean? Malik, give them to you. You swing them over to me.
I got you.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, just a small part of it is something most guys that, especially with the players, like having those relationships with your players, I think is important. And being able to connect, like a lot of guys play video games. I don't play them anymore. But it's one of those things that if you can connect somehow and bridge the gap with your players and have that relationship with them, whatever you're bonding over, find similar interests. I think it makes our job easier coaching them, but they're also more susceptible to the accountability side of like, yo, we rock together on a lot of things.
Right.
Now I'm going to tell you the truth. And if you can have that with your players on a big level and then a personal relationship with whoever you work with, I think it's so invaluable as a coach, you know.
All right, Coach, I appreciate the time, man. Good luck
Absolutely.
tonight. Let's get that win, light that beam. Luke Laux, thanks so much for joining
Appreciate
me.
you. Thanks for having me on.
Man, once again, shout out to Luke Laux, man. That was a great interview. Your boy Drape's here on the Drive, guys. Excited to welcome in my guy, high flyer himself, Henry Turner, as he gets ready for game night coming up at the bottom of the hour. All right, high flyer. I don't know if you heard what Luke said about De'Aaron's workouts with Steph Curry. He said after that first workout, De'Aaron Fox's his forearms were cramping up because of how intense the workouts were. Have you ever heard anything like that?
Forearms cramping up?
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Okay.
All that shooting?
Wait.
I don't know, man.
I was about to say, what type of workout were they doing? I mean, what do you do with a basketball to where your forearm cramp up?
Yo, that's Steph Curry, man. That's that Steph Curry workout, bro.
You know what? Hey, I will say this. I have never worked out with two guys that were more just intense about working out than with Mitch Richmond and Chris Mullin. Both of those guys were monsters when it came to working out. Oh, my God.
Too?
Mullin, too. Yeah, Mullin set the tone.
What?
Yes.
I'm going to have to holler at him next time I see him. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mullin was no joke, man. I mean, we used to work out, bro, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to be a pro.
You know what, though? When you talk to guys, they say, you know, if you're a great player, you got to have that. It's people just think, you know, great players just naturally gifted.
No.
They put in the work too, bro.
You know what?
They the hardest workers too most of the time.
KD, yeah, a gift is, you know, a lot of players have that. But I'm telling you, what separates great players from good players is their work ethic. Believe me.
High flyer coming up at the bottom of the hour. Game night. High flyer. We got a big week next week. Should we tell the people, man?
Go ahead, man.
Me and you, 5 days next week, Monday through Friday. Drapes and High Flyer, Henry Turner on Sactown Sports 1140, filling in for Whitey on the Drive, guys, right here. I'm excited, man. I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, I tell you what, boy, this is either going to be a great friendship or a quick party. I don't know,
right? You my guy, man. Hey, it may go sideways. As long as you don't come with any crazy opinions or anything like that, we'll be good.
Come on, bro. I told you, it's CMB, man. So we all we got.
Real quick, man, before we turn it over to you for game night, just give me your thoughts on this game tonight.
Bounce back game for sure. You know, got a chance to, you know, very hard back-to-back. And, okay, you laid an egg, but they didn't been there for a while. They didn't had a chance to sit there and see what they did wrong, what New Orleans did right. They got a chance to say, okay, we can make up for this. Big-time bounce-back game.
I'm with you, and it looks like Trey Lyles is going to play tonight as well. How big is that for them?
Huge. I mean, believe me, I've been waiting for Trey for a long time.
Right.
You know, think about it. That gave the Kings kind of like a yin to a yang because they always played big with Sabonis, but their most potent offensive game is when they went small with Trey Lyles.
Yeah. And I'm looking for him to check Zion tonight. Somebody got to do something with Zion. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, somebody step in front of that guy now.
Exactly. Take a charge or something.
I know it's like jumping in front of the Hulk, but somebody got to step in front of that dude.
All right, my man, have a good show. We got game night coming up next with the high flyer himself, Scott Marsh. That'll do it for the Drive, guys. We're back on Monday, everyone. No show Thursday or Friday. It'll be me and High Flyer Monday at 2 o'clock. We'll see you then. Thanks for listening to the Drive, guys, here on Sactown Sports 1140.
We bumping from coast to
The San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks square off this Thursday at 5 on a primetime Thanksgiving matchup.
Going deep down the sideline for Are You? He's got it, and he's gone. 20, 10.